Yo, what's up? How you doing from wherever you are catching me from? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Luzay Andrew Anderson here. Well, there's something that I feel like maybe I should share with you, and maybe you should also take it. Yeah, never ever give birth as a lady. Yeah, don't get pregnant if you cannot take care of the kids you give birth to. Simple. Like, don't get pregnant if you know you cannot financially take care of the kids you've given birth to. I know it is two parties that are involved, but unless otherwise you sit on a round table and you talk to this man as a lady and you tell him, I feel we should get pregnant. And that man accepts. I think it is wrong for girls to just get pregnant. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it carefully, it is basically a girl's decision to become pregnant or not. Yes, the man might be involved. Yeah. Also take the initiative, use condoms. Yes, it is true. But it is up to a girl. There are very many contraceptives you girls can use. Even abstinence being among, yeah. But it is very, very wrong for girls to just get pregnant when the man is even financially not ready. He feels like he's not ready to carry that responsibility of another human being. And then a girl from the blue, she comes and she's like, I miss my period. And remember, you're both two mature people because it is a girl who is going to carry this pregnancy for 9 months. It is her it is her main responsibility to become pregnant or not. But me, I suggest that as a girl, if you have not talked to your partner to ask him if you can get pregnant, if you want to just get pregnant, minus his consent, I feel you should be, as a lady, financially stable and willing to take care of this kid that you're going to give birth to. Because this is one of the main causes why we are having, struggling families. That's why we are having, like me, a single dad, because this wasn't on plan. And by the way, almost 85% or 95% of the kids that come to, come that are given birth to, most of them are not on plan. Yeah. But I feel it is a woman's responsibility mainly. If you cannot financially take care of these kids, then why do you get pregnant? Truthfully speaking, why do you get pregnant? Unless otherwise you've talked to this man and he has consented, I feel it is a wrong thing. That's why we have a lot of single mothers. That's why we have a lot of, okay, the single dads are few, those who are responsible like me, who are willing to take, the responsibility and they be like, you know what, come what may, I'm going to be with my kids. They are very few, very, very few. I think like 2%, 2% globally, like 2% men who are willing to stay with their kids. Me, I'm a full time dedicated single dad, 24 hours, day in, day out. The only time I'm not with my son is when he's at school. But as long as he's at home, we are always together. Unless he's playing, but I'm always around. And it is a decision that I took. But I feel like, most of the people, I think they don't get it when you're bringing life on this earth. It takes a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of things that come along with it. Hmm? There is a lot that is really involved. You have to nurture them. Finance is supposed to be involved. Housing, That is shelter, clothing, food. There is a lot that is involved. That this would have been the only thing someone would have really taken crucial look at, and they're like, by the time you bring that life on this earth, when you know you are capable of taking care of them. That's why most of the people are struggling. That's why single mothers are so many. You know, that's why a lot of unplanned pregnancies are one of, I think that would even be one of the causes why we are still in the third world countries. Girls just getting pregnant anyhow. Because now you imagine you bring life. This kid never asked to be, produced. And then you can't feed them. You cannot take them for medication. You cannot educate them. You cannot do all these things. You cannot shelter them. I think it is being unjust to them. It is really being unjust to them. And maybe a man runs away. If a man runs away, yes, he's supposed to take his responsibility, but he was also gotten unawares. He's also struggling. He cannot take care of himself. Now he's supposed to take care of one mature person and a young one. And remember, now these girls come with a lot of demands. When you're alone, you can eat fast foods. You can eat the burgers. You can eat the hot dogs. You can eat the Rolexes. You can eat a lot of things. You can take a chapati and some eggs and you're done. But now there is a young one who need to be fed on a balanced diet. He has to take some eggs. He has to take some protein, some vitamins, some carbohydrates, and you just give birth just like that. And now you have to be in your kid's life. But again, you're very busy looking for money to take care of them. You leave the country, you go abroad, you show up at work very early in the morning. By 6, 5, you're at work. You come back by 9 at night, and you're not in their lives. All that, why? Because you did not plan it. Because you thought, if I give birth, that guy is going to stick in my life for good. But now he has also disappeared. There are a few guys like me who will be like, I'm going to take responsibility. Some time back, I was calling her mom and I was telling her, to stay with my son for like a month so that I can do a lot of some of my things that you guys know that what I'm trying to move on before the 1st of February 2027. And she couldn't. Then I'm like, okay, week. And she couldn't because she's busy working. But in the first place, why did you decide to get pregnant? Why? If you know you're not going to be involved in the kid's life, why? Because just like how I told you, it is not 100% entirely, but I would say at least 95% entirely, it is a woman's responsibility to get pregnant or not. Then why risk and bring these kids in this life and you are not ready? You don't have shelter. You cannot take them for treatment. You don't have a job. You cannot even take care of yourself. But guess what? Now you bring this kid in this life. Very unfair. Very, very unfair. Very, very unfair. And and when it comes to guys, really, I know the guys are also supposed to zip up, their pants. Yeah. But it's highly a responsibility of a girl to be like, I'm not getting pregnant for that. But you make such a kind of a decision and you feel like this guy will have to take care of. I don't know. You guys can try to put something in the comment section. Maybe it's me who is mad. I know the men are also partially responsible, but it's not a man's decision to be like, today you're getting pregnant. No. I hear there are girls who say, like, a guy can know when he has impregnant. When you have a billion kind of contraceptives that you can use not to get pregnant, and then you're not in their lives. Because you cannot tell me after giving birth, yeah, now you're moving out of the country and you're going to spend 5 years minus seeing your kids. You're supposed to nurture them. You're supposed to direct them. It has to be mainly your responsibility as the parents, the father and the mother. And now you've given birth. Now you've gone to look for greener pastures when they are already here. I think with this kind of a generation that we are in, let's take caution, like educated people. I know you guys could be like, okay, how did it happen to you? I really wanted to get a kid. Yes, I admit 100%. I really wanted to get a kid. But the kind of a mother that I got the kid with, no, I didn't. And I tried my level best because I knew it wouldn't work. I knew. And I was like, the only thing that I loved in this world was to have a family, mom, dad, and kids. But with this kind of a person, I knew that wouldn't happen. I knew. I was like, now you rather not bring it on this earth. Oh, it's terrible. And with my Christian background, I was like, cool. And because I'm a responsible human being, I was like, I'm going to be in his life 100%. And I've done it. But sometimes, these kids make us, also mature in a given way. But I think it is very important, girls, for you to first think. If you cannot take responsibility as you, individual, as a lady, just don't give birth because you will end up single mom and the guy will disappear. And even if he doesn't disappear, because he's not yet ready, you're going to be struggling throughout your life. By God's grace, God just helps you, and these kids don't pass through life harshly. That's why I mean when that happened, right now, 3 years, I don't sleep around. 3 years, I don't sleep around. For the years that I've been with I don't sleep around because I don't want the same mistake to happen. Now I knew now it has to be entirely on me, not with the lady, entirely on me. Because another one will come and she will also think, I can also just give birth and maybe also end up chilling here. And that's not how things work. Then you cannot be in such kind of a relationship, even if it's married, when both of you didn't consent to having kids. You will be struggling. Because as a man, maybe he's not ready. Even you as a lady, you're not ready. Now you've brought in another. You cannot even take care of yourself. And you're bringing another human being, really. And now they will not get the best medication. They will not get the best education. They will not get the best shelter. They will not get the best clothes. All in the reason of why? Because you want to get stuck with that guy? Really? Because you feel like you want to be with him. Come what may. But now you're going to spend the rest of your life, struggling. Instead of living, you're just struggling. It is really unfair. It is really, 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 really unfair. And this is entirely to the women, not in a bad way, because it's you who decide, to have that womb there, have that kid in there or not. Men are partially, involved. That's why a girl will be like, I can never give birth for such a kind of a guy. So then why do you give birth when a guy has not consented? It has to be a mutual understanding. Thank God and thank to all the fathers, whom it came to you as a surprise, but you got involved in life of your kids, yeah? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace, yeah.